Hello again. Lovely to see you here again. Um, if you've been like me, you've noticed that there's quite a few people now seeking parking and getting told that they're not allowed to park there anymore. So van lifers are really struggling, I think, right now to um, see the future. Now, I'm fortunate in as much as I've often said, I park on family land. And I don't do it just for the convenience, it's just me to think of. Oh, I just want to park here. There's got to be a mutual agreement. There's got to be an advantage to the other party. And in my instant, um, I look after the pets, I look after my grandchildren when there's illness, school holidays, that kind of thing. If I'm looking a bit rugged, it's because I've had a week of school holiday, childcare. It sharpens your wits, I can tell you. So, yes, I'm fortunate. But that doesn't mean to say that one day, if the family have to move, relocate, even to another country, in this climate, people are looking at other countries for jobs because here in New Zealand, it's hard to get jobs, well paid. Many of them are flying off, the flightless Kiwis are flying off to Australia. But anyway, as I was saying, my circumstances could change within the blink of an eye, and this happens in life all the time. And you have to think about what your alternatives might be. Now, these are some of the ideas I have in the back of my mind because I always like to keep my eyes open for opportunities, and I see them all the time. And many of the people that have written comments saying, "Where do I park? I don't know what to do." I have given them a few clues, but I'm hoping that this little talk today will show you some ideas. Now, the first thing with any problem is to pull it back right to the basics so that you're not getting flummoxed by too much information and starting to panic. First thing you need to do is work out what your needs are. Do you want to live in the rural setting? Do you want to live in an urban setting? What requirements do you need? Water, power, that kind of thing. So get it right down to basics. Make a list of the things you might need. I'm fully self-contained and prefer to be that way. And that way opens up my opportunities so much more because I'm not relying on someone else's power source, for example, or water. The thing to consider is, do you need 24-hour parking? Do you only require it during the week or weekends, at night, only during the day? Just have a think about those kind of things. Once you've established really whether you want to live in the rural or urban areas, is to start looking at some of the places that are available. Look for some um, businesses, for example, in the urban areas that have car parks or small enclosures, something of that like that. Um, the other thing is sports grounds. Golf courses are a brilliant idea. I know someone personally who has joined a golf club, and I'm not sure how it works, but again, this is just sowing seeds, that they travel around with a camper van and they stay at the golf clubs. There's churches. Not Let's face it, not all of these are going to be the same. Where it might be available in one area may not be in another, or another country. In your own area, just don't write them off. Have a look at buildings with parking space available and work from there. In the rural setting, of course, there's farms, vineyards, orchards, and these also have seasonal work, that sort of thing, if you're looking to top up your budget, which you all need to do at times. So yeah, there's quite a few places that you could look into. There are also community halls. They're quite often found in rural areas here in New Zealand. I'm not sure what it's like in other countries. Another place which is obvious is campsites. They often will allow you to stay, and in exchange you can help with the management of that campsite in the summer, or security in the winter time when there's not so many people there or it's even closed. There's also another option entirely, which you don't have to be living in a camper van to do it, but that's intentional communities. Now, these are something that I used to know in the 70s as communes, basically. But they've got a newer name for them, intentional communities. I have to struggle with that one. But I believe they don't advertise as such, but if you're looking for them, they are there, and people live in yurts and all sorts of mobile homes, tiny houses, that kind of thing. And that is one of the ones that I think would probably interest me the most, because I can still remain have my independence, but part of a group of like-minded people. That's what it's usually. It's old hippies, that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm getting off the track a little bit. So, back on track. So once you've got a list of things that would interest you, things that are going to fit into your lifestyle, how you want to park, how you want to utilise that parking space. Now there's the interesting part. This is where you think about, what have you got to offer that business, that farm, that orchard, that campsite. What skills have you got? What could you offer that business, we'll say, in return? Are you able to do minor maintenance work? Could you do cleaning? Could you clean a business after hours? Could you mow lawns, do gardening? In some way, pay back the owner for your being there, and even acting purely as a security, because you're a pair of eyes on the site when no one else is there, if you're parking overnight, for example. And I mean, that would probably work quite well with any business, trades business, because they're there during the day. You don't really want to be parked there during the day. You can go off in the daytime and do what you want to do and be where you want to be, but you've got somewhere to return after business hours and park for the night. And security work is quite a good one. I mean, I don't mean that you've got to stay up all night, but it just means that if there's a noise or any disturbance, you're on the ground there to witness it, especially if you've got cameras, that sort of thing. Yes, as far as being on a farm, are you good with animals? Or helping. I mean, depends what type of farm it is, but yeah, have you got skills? The bottom line is, think about what you could be prepared to do and what you could be able to do. Now, this is where it gets the best part. So you want to start thinking about a covering letter and a CV, because that person, when you go and approach them, wants to see somebody who's respectable, tidy, trustworthy. Let's face it, you're walking in, they're not prepared for it. You are, but they're not. And so you need to reassure them pretty quickly that it's an advantage to have you there, not a disadvantage. So yes, write up a CV where you can, CD. Yes, write up a CV where you can show with references that you're trustworthy. So now, armed with your CV and a covering letter and your proposal that you've practiced and have pretty well sorted in your mind so that you're not fumbling with your words like I have. And then pick out, say, 3 of your favourite propositions that you may want to approach. Go in there with an optimistic view, introduce yourself, and very briefly get to your point. Say what you want to do and how you want to work with that person. Offer them the CV and ask them to just consider it, and that you would love to hear from them when they've had a chance to read it. And then just walk away and be patient and go on to the next one. And then, as I say, just be patient and wait and see and repeat if necessary until you find the place that's right for you. And all the while, keep your beady eyes open for another opportunity that may arise, because I tell you, there's so many things come up each day, and if you're not haven't got your antennae out looking for opportunities, um, you just won't see them. And it's a great way to build your confidence, uh, to embark on these little challenges in life to solve problems. So you can apply this technique to lots of different challenges that we meet in life. Is cut that problem right back to the bare bones, and then start thinking about what it is that you really need. And then when you see what you need, it's easier to see what you have to do next. Right. Well, the weather's hemmed me in again. I had thought about sitting on the front step and recording this, but every time I poked my nose out the door, it rained. So I hope wherever you are, I know there's some really bad heat waves in some countries and severe flooding in others. So wherever you are, I hope you're safe and you're warm and dry and happy. And bless you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.